that's right. I used the stupid countdown timer. I don't even know why I'm doing this. It's because it's a special day. It's a special day. We're looking at a special issue of this comic book we've been talking about again and again and again. This is Omni X-Men, and the birthday boy is here.
What is going on, John? Got the hype button ready to go, bro. How you doing, man?
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks,
cheers.
bro.
Here's a little quick cheers to you.
Cheers, brother. Thank you.
One to grow on.
Hell yeah, man.
And we got a very special guest. We've been waiting for this gentleman to join us. He picked this issue early on. He's been waiting to do this issue with us.
Smart man.
It's perfect. It's your birthday because we got Alan from Climbing Comics here.
Hello, my friends. Hello. Happy birthday. I planned this all along.
Bro.
I wanted to come for your birthday. That's why I waited.
You looked ahead. You're like, yeah, you know what? This is
like,
going to align perfectly. Exactly. I love it, bro. Dude, I'm so happy you're here, Alan. Thanks for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here, guys. It's been
Little did you know,
time,
months ago when you picked this issue, that it would quickly become one of the most sought after and expensive issues in this run.
I know. No, I'm glad I got it when I did. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. This is nuts, a mega book now, and it's a mega birthday, and we got a mega guest. This is a huge, huge show.
Hey, cheers with Alan here.
Yes.
Cheers. Cheers,
cheers
guys.
to you all.
Brother.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I have to ask, John, what are you drinking? And then Alan, what are you drinking?
I generally am drinking whatever I got in the
apple juice.
Yeah, right. It's apple cider.
Charlie's apple juice.
I have this TJ Slabdragon Hogwarts.
I love that
decanter, and I usually stock it with Jameson. So that's what I'm having tonight.
Nice.
Very nice.
The namesake.
Very nice. Alan, what about you? What are you drinking, man?
I am also doing a whiskey. It's called Iron Root. So it's like one of my go-to drinks recently. But Iron Root, definitely try it out.
Let me write that down. Hold on, because that does. I'm always open to trying some new whiskeys. I actually just ran out of my 46 and my Woodford Reserves, so I had to switch over to the good stuff. And I guess it's well deserved since it's his birthday. So I'm drinking some scotch here. I have some Belvany 12 that I'm drinking. So I try to save that because
I love Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve and Jameson are my two.
Woodford's like a go-to for my winter drink. I say, yeah.
You just Costco all day, man. You get that giant container.
You told me about Costco's. I got to do that, man. You told me
Costco is a steal on that stuff.
I gotta get it from there, man.
I want to say hello to some people in the chat because we had some tailgaters here from Rob Boswell.
What's up, Rob?
And X11 Bravo was here early, and he was recommending a friend's channel. And he was saying, he said, I'll say his word. He says, if you can, a like or a comment on my friend's channel. He has some challenges, but he's an awesome kid. He's extremely intelligent. He knows his books. And I found the channel, and I posted the link. If you want to find it, there you go.
Perfect.
I think he's got almost exactly 50 subscribers right at this point, and he's under the name Multimedia Man. So if you search that, he's got a blue, a purple M for the logo. But hey, young kid starting off, and hey, he super chatted us at the same time.
So, that's awesome. I just subscribed to Multimedia Man. I just subscribed.
So if you scroll up in the chat, hopefully you can find that link. And if I forget, I'll try to remember to drop it later on in the show.
Yep. Cool.
We got Lasso here saying, hey, kitty pride.
Love it.
Very funny. Yes, the Dark Phoenix saga is here. It's all happening. Yeah. And we had Climbing Comics. Now we got Claiming Comics. We got Jason here.
I almost switched your guys' name the other day, or said the other earlier today, because I just you guys' names are so close.
Right there.
Shout out to Jason. He gave me a birthday gift recently, so thank you, Jason.
I
appreciate
saw that.
You,
yeah, I subbed up
Bad Idea
to
books.
Jason on Instagram today. So
nice
awesome stuff.
Good stuff.
And of course, we got the Chet-Eye Knight. Chet is here. I'm scared to know the grade of this book now that it's like blown up. What his grade? I'm sure it's a 9.6 with double signature.
Something crazy with Stan Lee.
Yep. We got some knucklehead about his birthday in the chat. I don't know what's
Here we go.
Here we go.
We got Eric saying Feliz cumpleaños.
What's up, Eric?
The champagne.
John, what was the Spanish term you were saying last episode?
Yeah. The movie that you would want.
No, wasn't there
La Suegra.
La
Suegra. It means mother-in-law. It means mother-in-law, but it's like the perfect word for mother-in-law because it sounds so villainous.
It's like it's like a smooth, like, you know,
Cuidado con la suegra. Yeah, you gotta watch out. Gotta be careful. Chet says, I would have said it. I should have made it on the Justin roast for his birthday, but he probably ate one already, so happy birthday.
True. He was on for a minute and he froze up over on Morbius.
I will say when I use a phone or an iPad and there's a bunch of people on the stream, it usually crashes, freaks out. He doesn't really handle it well. So I totally understand that. Jackson Roy Kirk is here. How you doing? Hello. He's hitting that hype button.
Oh, I like that. Pew, pew, pew. Okay, I like that.
That was the sound effect. I read it.
That's good, man. I like it.
Unruly Simeon. How you doing, sir?
Hey. Hello.
We got Comic Journey. Says big story. Are you guys sure you're up for the saga of the Dark Phoenix?
Pumped.
Hell yes, we're up for that.
Yes.
Pumped.
And there it is. La Suegra. And we got lastly Tony, my man, Old Wolf in the chat. I'm sure he's toasting us as well. So here's to you, Tony.
Some Tag Team Thursday right there, my brother.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so those that don't know, this is the Omni X-Men show. I know we're a little off the rails already because we're getting near the end of this omnibus that Justin and I have been reading for about 9 months now.
Yeah.
It's Justin's birthday here for this issue. 2 weeks from now, it's my birthday, and we'll be reading the final issue of the omnibus.
And we're closing out with that.
Yeah, 129. Then we're on Justin's channel for 130. Then back over here for 131, the finale and the giveaway night, where we're giving away some awesome things, including the second omnibus Justin has purchased and will be giving out. So to be entered for all of these things, you got to answer trivia questions based on our last episode. And we'll do that at the end of the show, talk about issue 128. Ask some trivia. And for Justin's birthday, Alan has agreed to ask 2 extra questions. So we're going to do 6 trivia questions tonight.
More opportunity.
So Chet is really happy he's not on the show this evening. He can try to gain some ground again. And there it is. He's got 9.6 with no SIGs. He's working on a 9.8 signed. Wow. Unacceptable.
Big book,
unacceptable.
Big book.
Yeah, man.
Mind blowing.
My goodness. I have to show mine because I got mine. It's an 8.5, which is pretty darn high, I think.
Way better than mine, absolutely. Mine's raw still.
And I got this shout out to Everett Otto from 3 Men in a Basement, who was just on our show not too long ago. He sold me this book raw along with the rest of the Dark Phoenix saga for like $140 or something.
You mentioned that when he was on with us a couple weeks back,
and they're all like awesome. 9.0s or 8.5s, like all the books. Man, he's the best. And I will always remember. I will always remind him.
I'm sure he's very grateful for that. Very grateful
for sure.
So we always kick it off by getting a little CGC grade on the issue to kind of hear what everybody's thoughts are before we deep dive into all the panels and all the story and all the shenanigans. So, Justin, issue 129, Dark Phoenix Saga. What are your thoughts?
So I love this, and I'm trying to make it fair because I just love obviously the whole saga. So like I want to just rate everything a 9.8 and just, say this is all perfect and amazing. I do want to try to respectfully trying to keep it tighter and just focus on this particular issue. So I'm going to it's still up in the 9s, easily a 9.4, flirting with the 9.6 range for sure. I remember the first time reading this through, not knowing Jason Wingard and being like, that part kind of, I felt like dragged for me at first, but that, I do have a much more of appreciation for it now, especially reading the second time through all together and understanding obviously where it goes and how things kind of end up and what kind of role he plays. So it's certainly up there as a 9.4, 9.6 for me. We'll just go 9.6 because obviously the artwork is amazing. It is very important as a key issue for what it brings to the table amongst the X-Men family. So yeah, there's obviously just so many amazing things about it. So I'll kind of leave it at that for now, but we'll throw the 9.6 in there.
Yep. All right, Alan, how about you?
All right, so backstory here. There's a special place in my heart, especially for this run. Mainly, this is the reason why when I talked to Justin, I wanted to come in for this. One of my 2020 goals was to collect the Dark Phoenix run, and it started with this book. And it came from my LCS, so it's even more special to me. reading along with you guys, like the whole 94 to now, and then at least reading the whole Dark Phoenix saga, I'll take the same path that Justin's taking. I just want to look just as this book alone, but I'm going to still call it minty fresh. So I'm going to still call it a 9.6. It's minty fresh for me. So
love it.
Hopefully Chet approves as well.
I see Azor's Tiger already saying 9.8. Like oh no.
I will say, I'm right there with you guys. It's hard to grade these stories independently. There's the banner. Finally, throw the banner up. Sorry.
Look at you, John. All the bells and whistles tonight. I love it.
It's birthday. It's we're hype buttoning this whole show. So for me, I think this issue deserves all the praise. And one thing I just wanted to highlight overall was this was the issue that made me as a kid feel like, God, why can't the X-Men show up at my house and invite me to go to their school? Like, this was the issue that really pulled on my heartstrings as a kid, feeling like, all right, like, look out the window. Where's the bald guy in the wheelchair? Where's my invite? Like it's not that hard to put yourself in Kitty's shoes. Totally. And so this issue brings the kid out in me. So I'm willing to go 9.8 on this one as just an issue of nostalgia wise, reading wise, that makes me feel like a kid again. And so I'm fully invested that for sure. And Justin and John won't rate 9.8 with me around. I just did, sucker. So in your face.
He was when he right.
I just hype buttoned this whole thing.
He did.
What's up, JP?
Chet was not around. Hey, JP, thanks for the birthday wishes. Chet was not around when we all agree, when we had the four of us on with Morbius and Eric last week. Yeah. And that was a special because Chet's like, of course I'm not there. And everybody rates the damn book of 9.8. I'm like, dude, man, it was crazy. But yeah, I mean, this easily could be the 9.8. I think like we said, it's just like we're trying to keep it fair and condensed to this story, but all of it's great, we all love it.
And it is hard to dissect something and remove it from how it connects to a full story arc like that. And this is the iconic X-Men story arc. So it's very challenging for sure. But for me, there's big kid feels when I read this issue. Yeah, and absolutely. I hadn't read it in a good long while, and rereading it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in.
Oh yeah.
Except for the, Wolverine reading porn. But we'll get to that later on.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So let's dive into this slideshow here. We got this amazing issue here, but let's talk cover before we dive in. I know, Justin, you're always talking about, I see that on the shelf. Would I buy this cover? So what are your thoughts here on this one?
Yeah, so same thing goes for, I feel like it almost looks like there are a bunch of like smaller juggernauts being thrown around, so if I didn't know any better, I almost would maybe assume that was part of the case. We know that Juggernaut has shown up recently again, and that they were kind of scheming and working their way with the clown earlier, so who knows. But yeah, so I think overall, like, just love this action scene. I will say it's a little noisy. I mean, obviously there's a lot of different things going on, so it's not what it's not like those, obviously not like a negative variant or negative space variant. It's not basics in any way. There's a lot going on, but I can appreciate that. And I do like that it all is focused around Colossus throwing thing. Like, you really, I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind. My mind
is agreeing with you. A little smaller juggernauts.
Seriously. So my
Eric the Red, maybe, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you could throw some Eric the Red. Yeah. But I like that we have the core three guys. Three Storm. Like they're all in the mix. So
that says he rates this a 9.7.
I saw that. That's really interesting that he said that.
Azor says, "What the Farouk?"
People are freaking out. What the Farouk?
I'm saying, yikes! Right?
Yeah.
Alan, what are your thoughts on this cover?
I kind of agree. Like, it's a little busy, but to me they were like little Nimrods. Like they were like the little like prototype Nimrods flying around.
Hell yeah.
So when I saw this, I really love action scenes, but I totally understand. It doesn't necessarily pop with one specific thing. It's not like one like flat color in the background, but this is one of the most important scenes of the book. So I don't see how they could go wrong with this, how they did.
Right.
Yeah.
Bravo says, Colossus not getting his proper credit. He's literally doing the heavy lifting. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah, I agree. This cover doesn't work for me a whole bunch. I know that it is, like, to Justin's credit, like, it is straight out of the issue, right? We got Wolverine without his mask, just like in the issue. We got these robots, and even in the background, if you look, it's the malt shop. You got the ice cream. You got funny little things in the background that if you really dissect it, it is straight from the issue. I just don't think they do a good job of representing it. And it is super busy, and the color work is a little scattered where you got like some weird off green, lime green thing going in the background there.
Yeah.
I don't get all of that. I think they could have done this a little more interestingly. So for me, yeah, it's not my favorite cover, but thankfully this is one of those examples of a book where you're like, who cares about the cover? The juice is on the inside, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So let's dive right in. And where we left off, the X-Men were leaving Muir Island. They were heading off with their friends to go back, but they were also deciding who's coming with us, like who's joining us to go back to the mansion. And there were some hard goodbyes. And honestly, I thought it was hilarious that Scott's like, "You're coming, right?" And they're like, "No, I'm not going there." And then he's like, "Okay, but you're coming, right?" "No way, I'm not going with you." Like everybody's like, "Hard pass, man. I've seen you guys in action. We're out."
Yep. They all have excuses. They all have something ready to go, ready to be said. Like, hey, and they break it to them lightly, but they're like, "Yeah, no, not for us. We're not right now. We're trying to live a normal life. So good luck."
Just done.
Yeah. The one thing I totally noticed is when Banshee had his arm around Moira and was like, "Oh yeah, like she had a lot of her loved ones died, so she needs taken care of right now."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh my god, this guy."
It's a full Wedding Crashers, Funeral Crashers moment, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man. He doesn't even like let her talk. She just stands there while he's speaking for her.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
JP says this is not a good book. This is a 1.0. Everyone needs to stop buying it so the price drops and I can get one.
Yep. JP. Yep.
Understand that, JP. Totally get it.
So
yeah, I will say the line work and the way they do the lighting on this first splash page with the puddles on the ground is bonkers. The reflection of the shadow of the jet. Come on. The detail work on this page is nuts.
Great points, John. That is, I mean, just re-looking at this now, it is really so well done. Just seeing the shadows and the different colors, and even the bottom, like the them taking off, and the people are all kind of in a shadowy figure.
Yeah,
it's all really well done. Yep, and I like. Yeah. Of course, you got the gift game going on, man. Love the gifts.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's what I was laughing at when you.
I gotta keep Justin laughing with the gifts. Yeah, for sure. That says Banshee's gonna comfort her at the wake. We got Chamorro Cinema in the chat.
Hello.
Station to you, brother. We got Biggie Shack coming by. He says he's got a sweet X-Men book issue number 10 today.
Nice.
Ooh, congrats.
It's a banger.
Big one.
Lasso says these pages are the first times in my life he ever saw Jean and Phoenix and he was mesmerized. I don't blame you. The next few pages, of course, just as impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
So was anybody shocked that Multiple Man and Banshee were both like, I'm an X-Man?
Like, I mean, I would have thought it would have been cool to see Multiple Man, just because I didn't really know him, and reading through this, I'm like, oh, does he join the X-Men here? Like, I don't know the story, but I don't remember him being in the Phoenix at all. But my first time around, like reading this through, and so hearing him get turn it down or whatever, I was like, oh man, well, I hope we get more of him. I know he's going to Muir Island or whatever, but I was definitely hoping for more. Banshee I was fine with, because I don't know, Banshee's just running around pulling the Moira trick with guns and shooting, Yeah. And he's shooting
yelling
guys.
And looking shocked.
Yeah.
Kind of his shtick now.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, you relax, you take a break and hang out, so, but yeah, it would have been cool to see Multiple Man, and it would have been cool to see Polaris and Havoc.
And it's funny because I always knew Multiple Man from the X Factor days when he was part of that team, the new X Factor team.
Sure.
And I always knew him from his powers. I didn't know him as like a scientist doctor, which is obviously more of his jam early on. So it's interesting to see that side of him more.
X Factor's after this, right?
Oh, yeah. X Factor comes way later. And then issue 71 is when they launch a new team, and he's a member on that new team.
Oh, wow.
Of X Factor. So he's he's version 2.0 of X Factor.
Nice.
Yeah, it was funny with Multiple Man for me, because I think he just doesn't like Scott, because at this point he's like, oh yeah, I'm just this Kansas kid. I'm not really part of a team. I won't join you, but I'll join these guys over here.
Yeah. He totally made up the excuse.
Yeah, totally.
I love this. Jackson Kirk says, if my powers ever return, So I'll be smoking this medicated pipe.
Yeah, right.
There you go. There you go. Chet says Magic's lost a life to Proteus. Banshee has no power. It makes sense for them to leave the team. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But, sad to see him go, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where will Moira hide her gun in this issue? Who knows? Who knows? All right, let's move along to happy birthday, Justin!
Happy birthday!
Yes,
doing, man.
Dude, I love these scenes. Can I just say you just like brought it back, John? We never even talked these movies before, so I don't know if you randomly chose these or what, but they are perfect. And
So
I love Ace Ventura and just loving him.
Yes.
I hope you didn't peek at the slideshow beforehand.
Not for nothing.
Spend some time on that this weekend.
That's
I'm just gonna
awesome, dude. I appreciate you doing that, and I appreciate this, man. I really do appreciate the birthday.
When I saw the slamming door, I was
man.
like, okay, I'm all good.
Dude, this is like you nailed it, man. This is great. I'm cracking up over here, man.
All right, sorry. So let's continue on. I'm sorry.
Yes, professional.
So we get back into flying home, and looks like a super awkward flight back, where like Logan's smoking with a pillow and just grousing. Colossus is like deep in thought.
Yep.
Cyclops is like backseat drivering Nightcrawler. And then the ladies are like, why are you guys sitting in chairs and buckling up? We own a huge private jet. Let's just stroll a little. Stretch your legs, guys.
I like that the details of the pillow there for Wolverine.
Right? He's so tiny. He needs that little pillow cushion. I don't know what's going on.
He might be sitting on one too. Yeah. This was interesting because, like, Colossus is kind of questioning himself for what he did last issue, and
right.
I didn't get that vibe. Beforehand, it was all celebrations and happiness, which it well should be. But at the same time, I mean, he is right. Like, is it right? It's almost like Daredevil. Like just thinking about like, is what I'm doing, the right thing? Is it the right way, or is it just what I think is right? While they do mean well. The question is, would there be a better way to do it, or should he have done what he did, like Punisher, or something like that? So I thought that was deep to kind of see that. Yeah,
I kind of liked also the like the yellow story backstory, where you kind of see that this is like the calm before the storm, and and when I was watching it, when I looked at this, I'm glad you brought that up. This reminds me of that whole, I guess it's when Batman is on a plane and he has Superman and Wonder Woman behind him, and he's the only person that could have like all of these people that can fly, just have to like sit. And I see Storm and Jean Grey
can fly.
Like
Batman makes him go in a jet.
Yeah,
so
I love this scene. Yeah, I love this scene.
And then of course I got confused reading it the first time as a kid. I was like, wait, there's two jets. I'm super confused. But yeah, there's a Hellfire jet that's like puttering along on its way across the ocean to New York, and then there's the Blackbird that's like just blasting right past them as they go through. So these jets apparently are following one another across the Atlantic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that now, while they are flying, I'll give you guys
so high, and this guy's face on the side. Oh my god, that's great.
Oh god. So, I'm glad I caved to this show, guys.
Yeah, dude. Perfect. John, you are on point, my friend. As always.
I'm John, and that's legend right there. John
bringing
Legend.
the fire. Yeah, bringing the fire. I love it.
So, as they're flying along, Jean goes on an acid trip like nobody's business and starts Jason Wingarding here in the middle of the trip, and is on like a ship sailing across the Atlantic, and there's lingerie, and I don't know what that lady's wearing, but then he goes up on deck. There's Scott, and Scott is also the guy on deck talking to her and brings her out of we have crossed over at this point.
Yeah, I think if there should be a drug out there that, we'll call it the Wingard. That could be the name of it.
Genie in the Sky with Diamonds. There you go.
I love it.
Scott says he's wrong. That is the contour of the jet panel. Take a good look. Nothing is in Logan's mouth. You sure about that? He looks like he was smoking. I don't know about that. I'm going to question that. All the other contours go like at a different angle. I don't know about that. He looks like he's lit. God, I don't know. It's too perfectly aligned with his lip for me.
It is pretty perfectly aligned.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that it's smoking, but I'm also showing a guy smoking weed on a family channel.
We did have Ace Ventura on here earlier.
I did a second ago.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is
Morbius
true.
is in the chat. What is up, Morbius?
Hello.
Can't get that right. Morbius, what's going on, brother?
He says, Lasso says, look at the difference in Wingard's eyes between him and Jean's mind and him in the Hellfire jet. Yeah, he's definitely like doing his like sinister mind meld thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that whole top panel actually reminds me of in Harry Potter when they go into the tents. From the outside, it's just a normal tent. So this is their airplane, but inside it's like this whole lavish thing going on. So when he goes in with Jean, like, yeah, this is a pretty cool whole page panel for me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really great detail work going on inside of the ship, and obviously these costumes are just like super detailed. Journey says the only thing I always didn't that's the only thing I always didn't like probably about this run that always makes Colossus a mush. I mean, he should have been more of a badass. After all, he came from the Soviet Union. Hey, there's a point. That's a good point. He's got a pretty solid emotional core that he dives into sometimes.
He's got a heart. Yeah. We've seen him be destroyed about a lot of different things, throughout.
I'm not promoting anything. I'm just commenting on Jean's mental state at this point.
Can I just real random and real quick? Alan mentioned Harry Potter. I don't know, Alan, if you've ever caught John's Harry Potter readings on his YouTube channel that he did with his daughters over the course of the pandemic and maybe even a little before that. You should definitely, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you should go check that out.
Yeah, I gotta finish book 4, and then I will have all of book 3 and all of book 4. Like you could read it like a chapter book, like just like click each chapter and read each one and playlist.
And the best thing is John plays every part, so he acts out the voices, and he has a different voice dedicated to each character, and it's very well done. So I didn't even read them, but I followed along everything just because I was literally at work. I'd be hanging out listening to John and his daughter read these books, and it was just always a good time. So anyway, sorry.
The only reason that show stopped was because my daughter was like, "I don't want to wait for you. I want to just read." So she read the full series after me, and I was like, "Well, crap! Now that leaves me behind, and I got to go and do it."
She's like, "Come on, Dad, pick it up. Let's go."
All right, so Jean goes through her little mental situation and comes out the other side, and they have this little moment where Scott has to basically talk about Colleen and Jean has to deal with what he is saying about the ladies that he's been kind of shagging on the side. But he says a friend, no more, no less. Which I've women that are my friends, and if I laid on an airplane with them, like Scott lays with Colleen, my wife would not be pleased.
Yeah, no,
I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, that's a very passionate kiss that they got there.
She seems to accept everything he says really quickly.
Kind of surprised. So it's interesting. This is where she said, right, where she's like, I didn't listen to your thoughts, but I did hear it from others, and so she kind of got the idea of like where he stood with things, right? She intentionally didn't like dive deep into his mind, but of course she can probably tell when he's lying or telling the truth just based on her ability, right? Probably
she should be able to. Yeah.
But
without probing.
Right. I thought that was kind of interesting that he's just like, yeah, Colleen, no, look, we're just friends. Don't worry. Whatever you heard, it's not true.
Whatever everyone else is thinking is not
true.
I didn't read your mind. Just everybody else's minds. Because I have limits.
Yeah.
I have rules I set for myself. Yeah, she just I feel like she's
Colleen,
and then very accepting about this very quickly.
That's true.
Yeah. You know?
No, I was just mentioning like, she just screams Colleen's name just to hear what other people are thinking randomly.
Right. Colleen. Oh, Colleen. Oh, let me think about Colleen for a second.
Yeah, about her.
That's Scott's girl. They hooked up.
I had a friend in college named Colleen.
3 times. Yeah, 3 times they hooked up on the plane.
Yeah. JP says Jean deserves better. Scott's a Klein ball. I mean, that's harsh.
Yeah.
But I also feel like this story doesn't really have him accountable to anything. And it kind of whitewashes the whole thing and just like moves on. So I had to throw some shots at my guy. I am a Scott apologist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I could see Lasso why these panels would be something where you fall in love with Jean. I mean, she looks amazing.
Yeah.
She's very forgiving for a telepath.
Yeah.
And of course, the hair in these 4 panels here is just like, well, yeah, wow, the gorgeousness of a redhead.
Yep. Always well done.
Just pops. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's continue on. Hey, happy birthday, Justin!
That's great.
Love you, brother. Hey.
They're like,
Oh
excuse me, we're
God.
trying to get to the bearded one there.
Right? That's the real birthday best wishes.
That's great.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate you guys.
That's
Sorry.
amazing. That's amazing.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so we fly all the way back and alarms are going off in the mansion. So we're not going to land in the normal spot. We're going to apparently destroy the front lawn and announce our presence with authority and just land in the front of the lawn here and crash through the front doors. No, like, hey, who could it be? Let's like work our way inside. It's like, no, we're going to like cover splash page this and just burst in on the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, that was very interesting that they're just like, could be a good guy, could be a bad guy, but let's just go in assuming it's a bad guy and let's kick their ass. Like,
right?
Exactly.
Imagine if like they didn't get the lights on, they just started beating up Xavier. That would have been really bad.
I think it's hilarious. We have a super telepath on this plane and a super telepath in the house, but nobody is like, hey, we don't need to destroy the front lawn or the front doors. Like, we don't need to do that. Nope, we're gonna bust this sucker wide open. So, hello, house to the end, and we got Battle 66 Panda. Holy X11. How you doing?
We just subbed you up, man. Yep.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought this was hilarious. This felt like a total classic Marvel move. Like let's just do this for show because it looks great on the page.
I do really love how their plane kind of just comes in and then drops straight down. I love that. I like
the drawing. Yeah, you're like, whoop, whoop, like
right.
And I was like, which vacation did Professor X come back from this time?
Yeah, which yacht was he on? Which far off planet was he living as a czar? Like, where was that?
Yeah, so John, this is the first time that we get to see Professor X come back. Like, we didn't see him make that decision, right? Otherwise, okay,
we
so
did not.
Was like
he kind of thought like I need to go back, and he was dealing with it, but then all of a sudden he's back.
We never got to see a goodbye to what's her name.
He could have been shielding himself to surprise them, and. And Chet says the flying telepath couldn't read the telepathic in the chair unless he wanted her to. And I'm like, so he wanted them to destroy the front lawn and the front door? Like,
replace that
maybe it's classic douchebag Xavier. Like, let me test them and see what they do.
Yeah,
which I get it. Like, I mean, it's Xavier. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So of course we skip a few minutes and deal with like being back and relaxing time and danger room time, and no, we're right back into Xavier like driving everybody freaking crazy.
Oh my God.
Drilling all of them, just like, hey, do this, you do this, and yeah, Steve and Wolverine just storm out like that. It's like,
oh my God,
it's so hilarious.
This is a throwback, by the way, to something similar that happens in X-Men issue 60, I think, with Beast. I have it in the end panel, like notes. But I was surprised to learn that there's another moment where Beast bursts out of the danger room and Scott catches the door. It's a similar sequence.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Bravo says Panda is his wife and the brains of the operation. Well, I know how that works, sir, for sure. Hello, Comic Journey says, good thing Xavier isn't one of those lawn guys crazy about the kids. Yeah, that's bad. Magic Lasses says, time to bring back the douche of the week because it is Professor X. Fact. Yep. That is a fact this week, sir. So what is your opinion on Xavier overall, Alan? Like as a character, I feel like I go back and forth on my feelings for Professor X. How are you feeling about this character?
Yeah, he I don't really like him at this point, mainly because he's like minus 10 demerit. Well, I keep going back to Harry Potter references now. Minus 10 points to blah, 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 to Wolverine, the House of Wolverine. And I was like, all right, he's not going to care about that, right? So,
not at all.
But at this, like, I remember the Professor X from like the cartoons, and he was more nice. But like throughout this series, this guy is just like driving them. And how old is Colossus at this point? Like 14, 15? Like he's pretty young.
He's older. He's
like,
way older than that.
He's older.
Way older.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to say that they're saying, so the for those that don't know, there's a lot of dispute as to the appropriateness of the Colossus Kitty Pryde relationship early on, because she's a teenager and he's supposed to be closer to 30, like 27 or 8. So the comment I would make is that these X-Men are not kids. It'd be like giving demerits to Professor McGonagall. These are people that are like mostly almost adults. They're not kids. They're not in high school age. They are not the kind of kids that you give them an F in biology. These are more adult characters in some ways.
Yeah.
So
at this point,
he says 18-year-old Colossus. So
18.
He seems older than 18 to me, but I would believe you for sure. Nowhere near 30, Johnny. All right. He's a petty. Well, I mean, 5 years. I don't know about 5 years, but if he scopes on her at 13, then that's a little awkward.
Yeah, that's a little awkward. But we'll get to that panel. But yeah, Professor X. Like, I feel like there would be mutiny in this whole group with how he's handling his team. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts on Professor X at this point, but it might change later on.
Totally. What about you, Justin?
I agree with you guys. Like it is, or John, like you said, like kind of going back and forth. I feel like he has some strong moments, some great teaching moments and leadership moments. And then there's other times where it's just not there. And he's a douche, he's just not a good person. So it's a little weird. And I'm like used to, cause I only have so much experience in what I've read with Professor X with X-Men. So I do picture the movies. Like I expect it to be more of that.
Patrick Stewart.
And it's not
Patrick Stewart.
It's not all that, you don't get that here in some of these, books that we're reading. So it's different for me. I'm a little thrown off,
Totally understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I think he's one of those characters that is written differently depending on the writer. Claremont's iteration versus Stan Lee's iteration versus Jonathan Hickman's iteration, they all have variants. And I think what Hickman's done really great is he's made him very aloof. And Xavier is not a significant part of any of these issues. We only see him really from the perspective of the other characters that have to deal with him, which is wonderful because their perspective paints the vision that we see.
Right.
And that's how it kind of should be. It's almost like you're talking about a god in the old Greek myths or whatever. And you're seeing them from the perspective of a human. And the perspective is shifted based on how they perceive the god in that moment. And so in that way, Xavier has this aloofness, and you could hate him if you're somebody like Mystique, or you could love him if you're somebody like Cyclops, who feels cared for and appreciated. So it's an interesting dynamic that I think Hickman has done a better job than I think most of managing all the different aspects of his personality.
Yeah. He just seems cool too with Hickman's version. He's just like this cool. He's like younger, like
he's almost villainous too, though. Which I like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
he's definitely the puppeteer.
Oh, for sure. X-Men leadership of this version is of Professor X and Scott. Surprise anyone stays on the team.
Yeah, really. I mean, Wolverine's like, I'm out.
Yeah,
right.
Now it makes more sense why Banshee and all the rest and Multiple Man and all the rest
they're like, we're good.
But see, they didn't know Xavier was back. They were passing on Cyclops.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
They had no clue Xavier was back.
Yeah.
If they knew that, it might have been like double down. Like, I'm really not coming back.
Right.
Yeah. So this little scene is Cyclops trying to explain, hey, they're not the kids like our years. Like, maybe you need to cut them some slack or treat them a little differently. Like, I look at Wolverine, I don't see 18-year-old. I see a guy who's clearly old enough to not be getting demerits, but maybe that's just me. I don't think he'd be like 10 demerits. Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to matter.
Sulking in his room, looking at a picture.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, God, the douchebag is back. Like, oh crap! Like, it's just so much
Absolutely
worse.
awful.
Yeah, absolutely awful. These guys, you know, and then what makes it worse is they're all being spied on without knowing it by Wingard, who's sitting there like, oh, interesting. Like, I know everything you're doing because, and this was cool. Flashback to Warhawk, you know, like 15 issues or 20
like
issues ago,
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Where he basically broke in and hacked the computer and nobody bothered to do a little back check and like, you know, spyware update and check to see if our computers have been hacked.
Yeah, that's a good point. I love that they did tie that back in because I remember that scene and it's like, oh, that's right. Like it was kind of cool that they did wait this long in a way. Like I knew we even talked about it. Like, okay, like that's tying into something bigger down the road, but who knows when, you know?
Right.
And so I'm like, reading this was kind of like, oh, nice. Okay. All right. Now that makes sense. Like, because otherwise I'm like, how would they have gotten that? How would they have snuck in there and did like, when did they do that? And so that was a cool little reminder. I like that.
Yeah. That's why I love like these like kind of long runs by the same like writer creator, just like in Hickman, he's leaving tons of stuff right now, right? That makes zero sense. But I'm sure maybe a year down the line, he's just going to start picking them up and then pulling those strings.
He did it with Fantastic Four, and I feel like he deserves a little credit for what he did there. Although this is a much bigger canvas to play on. Chet says Hickman, Professor X is cool AF and loved what he did at the end of X-Men FF. If you did read, I loved the X-Men FF.
Oh, I didn't. I only read the first issue. I didn't finish that.
So it's just 4 issues, and it doesn't necessarily set in a specific place. But you get Kitty, you get Valeria, you get
Franklin, right?
Franklin, you get Reed, you get Sue, you get Johnny and the Thing, and of course some really great cameo appearances all around. And of course it's the Dodsons.
The Dodsons, yes, like, the artwork,
it's freaking gorgeous. And Dr. Doom, like skip it all. You get Latveria and Dr. Doom. Like,
that was awesome.
I thought it was one of the best minis that they've done in the Hickman era. Journey says Professor X's problem is that he thinks he's smarter than everyone else. Well, after all, he's read everyone's minds. Plus, he's a prick. So it's both. It's both. Like I get it. It's
a little bit of both. Yeah.
He's got the old cheapo wheelchair. Yeah, he doesn't have the floating wheelchair yet. They couldn't look that far ahead. Warlord, what's up?
Hello.
So let's keep us moving along here. Sorry. So we jump to the Hellfire crew looking at. Sorry,
such a great. I was like, "What's he doing there? What's he got?" He just holds this up.
Oh my god!
I have a few Will Ferrell things going on. Just a couple of Elf gifts as well as.
So many good references.
References. I will say, so I love the idea of the Hellfire Gala. I don't understand why they're like, we are retro. We're looking back at the old English style. Then why are the women dressed like friggin' prostitutes from the current era? Like, why do the women's costumes look like Playboy, but yours look like Sherlock Holmes? I don't understand
that's true.
Logic. I've always been frustrated with the Emma Frost character design because it seems so misogynistic and so useless. Like, why does she dress like this? And the logic of, no, she feels comfortable with her body. She likes dressing like this. No, men wrote her like this. That outfit has no logic to it at all. It is frustratingly offensive, that outfit.
Yeah.
She looks amazing and that she's drawn beautifully and it's John Byrne and it's Emma Frost, but I'm always like absolutely at ends.
Yeah, it's jarring. Yeah, no, it's jarring. It's definitely, not necessary.
So I struggle with that character. And I like the concept of her. I think she's very interesting and of course incredibly powerful and manipulative as a mutant. And so on that level, very interesting.
Yeah.
But when we reduce her to a lingerie model, I'm like, well, what the heck?
Right.
Yeah.
And if their thing is like, we're throwback, we're old England, whatever, then why isn't she wearing like a powdered wig and a bustier and a giant puffy dress with 7 layers? Like, why aren't we wearing that?
Like what Jean was wearing before.
Exactly. But no, we put her in this, which is like, even in X-Men First Class, and they're like, it's a strip club now, and they're all strippers, and they're all like wearing strip clothes. It's like, okay, well, like why though? Why?
Right.
Why is that the thing?
Right. Yep.
So that still irks me. I struggle with that aspect.
Yeah.
Maybe it's me because I have daughters.
No. You're absolutely on point.
Yeah, you're on point. You're
Yep.
on point.
I will say Hellfire Gala as a concept is very interesting. And through the history of X-Men, I find the Hellfire Gala and the manipulative backstage behind the scenes stuff fascinating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Always as secretive in the shadows. Even here, like these images that we see here, always in the shadows.
I do Biggie and I struggle with it because, again, most of these comics all written by white men, like almost every single one exclusively. The amount of women, I mean, it's basically white men and Louise Simonson. That's basically it.
True. Yeah.
At Marvel, Walt and Louise, and then like white guys.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it. Flashpoint, what is up?
What's up?
Good to see you, man.
What up, Flash?
Yeah, but I do like the Hellfire. Well, mainly because I've learned more about them from reading the most current like Marauders and stuff like that. So like, you have your White Queen, you have all of these different like positions that need to be filled. So I was like, oh, this is kind of where it kind of makes sense, and that like seeing like the heart, clubs, spades, and diamonds. You're like, oh, okay, this makes sense now a little bit more. Yeah.
Yes,
I really like that.
The White Queen and the Black Queen and the White King and the White Knight and all these things.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really cool.
And I think they've used it really well in the Marauders run, the current Marauders run. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to make a bunch of references here, but so
I have, and I feel guilty, TJ. I have, and I feel guilty.
We did address that. We
did a whole episode on it.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
I do feel I am a hypocrite. Yeah. I am a full hypocrite.
Yep.
I love this run. Let's just be honest. And it's all this.
Yeah.
It's a great run.
Sorry, you were going to say something, Alan.
Oh, no, I was going to ask, do you guys watch Community?
Oh, I love Community.
I have seen a good amount of episodes, I feel like.
Do you remember when the Dean picks up something like in your GIF and he's like, I hope this doesn't awaken something in me?
The Dean is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he's good.
Yes.
So good.
Hilarious.
Very, very, very good character. All right, sorry. Let's continue along from lingerie to hey,
happy birthday.
I love that
great.
You look so serious. Even the dog can't make him happy.
The death stare, man. He's even that death stare.
He's like, why'd you just touch my face?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, that kid is going to be judgmental his whole life. The eyebrows are on point.
Yeah.
Flexing the eyebrows.
That dog's very happy.
It's draft day for Kitty Pride, man.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
I don't know what sport Kitty Pride plays, but like everybody's just rolling up to her house to draft her to their college, and mom and dad are like, "Oh yeah, it's just Tuesday."
Yeah, exactly.
We just have all these people. It's just another couple of recruiters coming around to get our daughter. I don't know what her grades are like or what is exceptional about her, but the parents are super low key about two schools rolling up with like entourages to draft their daughter to their schools.
For sure.
They're just like, honey, another one. Here comes another one to the door.
I feel like this is like legend status here, that she's got all these people rolling to her door, knocking, like, sign on the paper with us.
Exactly.
Parents have got to be like questioning this, but her parents seem really like, please come in, have some tea, have some snacks. We're here to have you. Yes, welcome.
Yeah, and if you imagine, it was just probably yesterday that Xavier saw it was like on Cerebro and was like, oh, there's these two mutants. Let's go right now. And then so they're like, all right, let's make an appointment.
Yep. Yeah. It happened to be at the same time. I love how they really demonstrated her power at first here, because I remember reading this. Yeah, reading this for the first time and knowing her just from the films and other things, and understanding at least a little bit of like what her power is known for. So I'm like, oh, like how are they going to show this? And getting it right away, and her, going to sleep and waking up right in the downstairs, and the mother's like, honey, weren't you saying you're going upstairs? Like, I love that play. Like that whole little scene was very cool, very clever.
Yeah. Without showing it, giving us her perspective of what she might understand about what's happening to her.
And she has no control right now. She's just like, very innocent, which is who she is.
For sure. Journey says they were going for more of a dominatrix than a hooker look. It's really a fine line, right? Really, it's a narrow stretch of land that we're walking right there. He also says chess scholarship.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Queen's Gambit. She's the Queen's Gambit right there.
Right?
So
absolutely explains a lot about her Marauders' future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I do agree, Justin. That was a really clever bit to show her with those mirroring panels as the ground behind her shifts and what she's going through. Really cool.
And the fact that the mother's like, honey, weren't you going upstairs? Right. Like, what are you doing?
And the most clothes Emma has ever worn. Right there.
Yeah.
That is Emma speaking to the parents to try to convince them that they should go to her. They send their daughter to Massachusetts to their academy that they've never heard of before.
Yeah. And this is in Chicago, right? This first one.
She's in Chicago. Their institute is in Massachusetts, and then obviously Xavier is in New York.
And that's where they split, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's trying to sell them on that, and then as Emma's walking out, in walks the X-Men, like Wolverine in his Australian Crocodile Dundee outfit. I don't know what's going on there. This giant Colossus dressed like Harry Potter if he took steroids. And then Storm at least looking somewhat presentable.
Yes.
Not in some of her lingerie, actually like pulling off the look here of, hey, we're going to talk to parents right now. And then I love Emma Frost not even talking to them, just walking straight past them.
She doesn't even.
You think Xavier would be like, why can't I read her mind? That's interesting. Who's she walking out of the house?
Right.
Keep going. Just keep going.
Yep.
It's only Wolverine that has a thought of like, oh, there's something funny with this person.
Frail. Doesn't he call her frail in here?
He does. So Wolverine says, nice looking frail. Something about her scent, though, raises the hackles on my neck. Wonder why. Best leave it alone. I added the best leave it alone. Yeah. TJ says, dominatrix are more expensive. Trust me. All right. I will trust you. There it is. Nice frail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Emma mind blasting Logan for thinking her as a frail would be hilarious. And I think later on, I'm sure she played some mental trick.
Totally.
Yeah.
So then, Xavier rolls in and they try to convince the parents, hey, we should, think about our school. And while I'm talking to you, let these 3 strangers take your daughter to the mall.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
I don't know how that conversation goes down in anybody else's house. Although this was the late 70s, it's possible parents had a different perspective on this whole thing, that if college was going to get paid for, just let it go.
Just let them go.
No questions asked.
But they basically let these 3 strangers, one of them who looks like a giant, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, basically. Yep. Although Arnold's not that tall. And then the other one looks like Crocodile Dundee, and they're just going to take your kid to the mall somewhere, and you keep the wheelchair guy.
But this was the first love at first sight with Kitty, right? Because she was like, "Oh, Colossus looks like an interesting guy," right? I remember this.
Right?
There were the hints.
Specifically called him out. Yeah.
Yes, there were the hints of that. Yeah, just kind of she noticed him more so than anything.
Like the Marlboro Man. I could see that. Charlie could, Xavier could have convinced them. It's possible. I didn't take that into account. That's very fair. I would avoid using it in the way Logan uses it, but you, Eric. I'm telling you right now, I would not last long in my household.
Eric.
And the Patriots are at Gambit's house looking for a new QB. So there you go.
Yeah, that's great.
That's my other draft.
Yeah, who you gonna draft, Justin? Who's you gonna draft next year? Draft
God.
Kitty?
Yeah.
I'm going Kate. Sorry, Kate.
She's a perfect running back. I mean, just give her the ball and she makes it invisible, and then she walks the length of the field. Right? She's the ideal running back. So they roll over to the soda shop. The ladies grab a malt while the guys wait at the newsstand. I'm gonna let Alan take this one. Alan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, not as good as Wolverine here. He's he's one of those guys that just hangs out at the store, paging through pages that should probably be behind, like even in comic book stores, things that are a little bit provocative. They have behind like a board that doesn't show that what's showing, but he's just paging through it. And we're a malt shop, I guess, where kids go, and I guess this is the 70s, so I guess this is okay.
Completely normal.
Those that can't
Completely
tell,
normal to go through a Playboy.
Logan is seen to be reading Hustler, then
Hustler,
Penthouse, and reaching over to where the Playboy is. Those are the three magazines that we see Logan perusing. And of course, my favorite is Colossus's face right behind Storm's hair. Colossus is giving like a look of shock at the Hustler magazine that Logan has open.
Yeah.
And he has that little smirk on his face too.
Logan's just doing his thing, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I could totally see how Colossus is, because he's so like innocent in that way. So I could just see him being like, whoa, what is that? What is Wolverine into? What's he looking at?
I mean,
so good.
I'm not going to judge Byrne. I mean, let's just, this could have been in the script for all we know. This could be a Claremont problem, not a Byrne problem. I'm sure they both found it hilarious.
Yeah.
And then the guy at the newsstand is like, "Hey, this isn't a library." He's more like, "Why are you reading porn in front of all these people now?
Yeah.
This is very awkward, guy." Hey, Marlboro Man, why don't you buy it and take it home?
Yeah.
And not absorb it here.
Excellent, Bravo.
In the 70s, the adult mags were opening the shelves of the old. I believe you.
I saw that.
Where's the Jerkins, bub?
So good. So let's focus on the other half of this set of panels. Storm actually making some headway, talking to Kitty about what Xavier's school might offer. What do you think about that, Justin?
So I thought this was a really cool breakdown to kind of hear where Kitty's mind was in thinking, like, first just discovering, like, wait, you're the X-Men, and she wants their autograph, and like just a giddy little kid who's excited because she's seen them on TV and heard a lot of news about them, and so that was cool. And then the other idea of her just thinking that she's randomly special, like they were just kind words of being special, but she's like, no, like, we know you're gifted and we want to help you, like, kind of that breakdown. So I thought this was obviously a very important scene here, and coming from Storm, I thought that was great. I mean, because that just continues to show some of her leadership that we know that we get later on. Totally. That she can handle that, and just being able to talk to someone younger and get them to understand a certain perspective of why they're there and what the opportunities could be. And seeing Kitty's face there, just, I mean, if you put yourself in her shoes, just like, how excited would you be? You would be so pumped, like, wait, I'm going to join your team, like, not even thinking, like, I'm just want your autograph. And now you're saying, like, there's this potential of like me being special and me joining you, like all this stuff. So it actually kind of, the other thing too I was going to say earlier was, all this like hunting down, like jumping, trying to recruit, or draft a team member. It reminds me of like Transformers. Do you guys get that at all? Like, do you remember Transformers? Like, it was always the Autobots and the Decepticons, like
Decepticons,
they're like, who can we get? Like, it's a battle for converting that newbie, the new one. So it always reminded me of that.
For sure.
Yeah, I totally see that, because I was going to say the exact same thing. This is really how you recruit someone, because you could see that, like, the wide-eyed of Storm to Kitty, kind of just her empathizing with her. Yeah, she was like, oh, if I wasn't this kid in, I think she said Sudan or something like that, I would have been like Kitty myself. And then so you could see that she's totally empathizing with her. She's kind of bring her on, because she probably sees her younger self if she was in a different situation.
Totally. And I think Chet's on the same page. He says this part was great. Look at Kitty's excitement. And just her face is all about like, this is a possibility for me, which I think was a really great moment. And again, highlights how I felt as a kid reading this, where it was like, man, I want to go get ice cream with Storm and Wolverine and Colossus, not with the porn, but like let's get like ice cream and get an invitation to go to Xavier's school. Like this is crazy cool.
Yeah.
And yes, sets up that Kitty Storm friendship that lasts for a really, really long time. It's still going today.
For sure.
And I agree, Storm. I'm not going to argue that point at all. I will defend Cyclops, but I will argue that Storm is a higher ranking official.
Storm does a much better job than Emma compared to like recruiting style. They're all on the same team now, I guess, on Marauders. So
Emma's almost like creepy in a way, you know, like she's not very she's very reserved and very, I don't know. Yeah, she's not like friendly, and you know, who would want to join that, you know?
Exactly.
Biggie's talking about the bug eyes are subliminal, right? She's wide-eyed.
Wide-eyed.
The stogie and the porn in public. The Marlboro Man is doing his thing. Yeah. X11 Bravo says, that's how they recruit you. They get you when you're young and impressionable, bored and frustrated. They offer you something better.
Yep. Textbook.
There you go. Right? At least when she joins the X-Men, she'll get a good meal. Kitty looks like she suffers from anorexia nervosa. She's very she's skinny. She's skinny. So there's some exciting things. Let's see how this goes. At the end, when they're excited, like, hey, what's going on? The walls crash in and giant pink robots come to fight everyone.
Yeah. This came out of nowhere. I was like, whoa, here we go. Here's some action now. Like we're going somewhere. You know, and it really
chill, other than destroying the front entrance of the mansion. It's been very chill, this issue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think both of you highlighted this amazing art of the fire hitting Colossus, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This was my panel.
This was my 1A panel. I have a 1A and 1B panel, but this was one of my like favorite panels because you just see he was just able to switch over to his like Colossus self before like the guy shoots some fire out. And it's so funny that you know, Wolverine just has his complete bodysuit underneath his Marlboro suit, and then he's just like, all right, let's go.
He's ready. He's locked and loaded.
Yeah. And he's like pumped. I love that he's like, yes, I finally get to like tear it up here, you know? Like I love that part of his attitude of always just wanting to he's looking for that fight, you know, every time. So he's like,
sure.
He's like, bring it on. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah. Pink robots put the fear of God in you. They really do. They really do. So they get into the scrap early on, ready to go. Kitty Pryde falls out the back door, or the back wall, I should say, of the mall
from the booth. She's sitting in that booth and she flies right out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she's starting to realize, I do have these abilities. I don't know quite what's going on, but I went through a floor. I've gone through a wall, and the X-Men are left to kind of be battling these robots. The pink mini knots. There you are. And yes, Colossus does burn well, Chet. And so they decide that the issue is each one of these robots is synced to only one of them. So they should swap robots and take them out.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. I think who brought it up? Was it Wolverine?
Wolverine with the strategy.
There you go.
Which I think is hilarious that they spent all this money building these suits, and they couldn't program the suits to fight all of the X-Men. They built them to just fight one.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was thinking about that myself. I'm just like,
somebody's getting fired from the Hellfire Club later. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like did they not think that could be a thing? Like they're just, hey, let's just switch partners. You know, like it's a brawl, so they're all gonna fight each other. So they must have like, you would think the designer would have considered that, whoever it was.
Somebody in that early meeting was like, I've got a plan. All right, we're gonna build these very expensive suits.
I love the accent.
One of them for each of the X-Men, right? And we send them in. We send them in to fight, but not like it's individually, not as a team.
They have to. They have to play by the rules and not fight each. Like they have to stick to their partner.
Right.
You know, that's
no crossing the streams. And everybody's like, I like this guy. He's got some good. I like this guy. Who's got money? Let's pay this guy.
Right.
Let's get
His name is Master Mold.
Let's get these pink suits made now.
Yeah. Pink, purple. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
So good. Yeah, Wolverine is underappreciated. He pulls a legitimate leadership moment right here.
True. Mm-hmm. He has his moments for sure.
Nuts. Backhanded slice by Wolverine is drawn well, right? There's some great action sequences here for sure.
Oh yeah.
The line work in that storm wind section, really cool.
So the other thing I thought about too with this whole scene was, Storm saying in the last couple of panels, like, "Hey, or maybe it's this panel where she's just like, I'm throwing everything I have at this guy, and it's like not working." I thought that because it just fills the whole room, I would just think she could almost take out everybody, and just by accident.
Why focus on one of them?
right. But it's like, so this one guy standing, I don't know. So that was.
Well, and here's the thing: you make one suit that's designed to battle a giant metal guy. Couldn't all of them be designed for that? Like, why is that only the one suit?
Yeah,
because Colossus punches one of the other suits, and they're like, "Crap, he punched the right one. Damn it! Why can't he punch the one that stands punching?" Like,
it's like a game. Like,
it's whack-a-mole, but the opposite, where it's like you can hit all of them except the one that you can't hit.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, Battle 66 says accent spot on, John.
Thanks, brother. Oh, sorry, thanks, sister. I should say thanks, sister.
Great stuff.
All right, and hey,
happy birthday!
A little dance.
We are revealing the final villain, which is Kitty dancing for happy birthday.
Here we go.
Kitty dancing.
Look at that dance moves that she's got. She's doing. Yeah, and
God.
champagne. Nothing says happy birthday to our homie Justin. Like, I don't know, cats.
Appreciate you guys
dancing. Just when they thought they won, the Victoria's Secret model comes in and mind wipes them all and just takes them all away. Because really, what do you need 3 giant metal robots in pink for when you have one lady who can take them all out in one moment?
All at once.
Oh my God, I can't believe I just did this. This is exactly like your scene. But you mentioned this last time, John, right? Like, for example, why didn't Phoenix come in the first place when they were fighting? And why wouldn't the White Queen come over and just pull her powers on these guys? Like, but I know we have to build this up, but this is my other favorite panel right here, where you see Colossus and Storm and Wolverine kind of enveloped in her, like whatever she's doing to their minds. This is very reminiscent of a lot of like that, like the Doctor Strange type of like mystical, magical type stuff going on. That's why I really like this. I really like this panel. So it was
great
really
point.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's hilarious. Clearly, they needed the robots just to destroy the malt shop, so that Emma Frost had like a path to walk in, so that she could then do her gig. But hey, it worked. You can't argue with it not working because it clearly worked. Like they got the X-Men they wanted, right?
Right,
so.
For sure.
Except Emma. Or I mean, except Kitty.
Kitty escaped, but that's kind of her gig, right? Later on, we'll learn she's the one that always escapes. You can't trap her.
It's true. I like Chet said in the chat too. He pointed out that at the bottom there, Emma knew that Storm's locked.
Yeah, let's get to that. I don't know if that's the next page here, but
he's ahead of the game.
Oh, okay, definitely.
So I found this hilarious. Her first thing to do is to strip the X-Men.
Yes.
And the guy who gets Wolverine, like, you can strip Storm, you can strip Colossus, but the guy that gets Wolverine is like, come on. I get Wolverine. I have to strip. And funnily enough, he's the one that's done first.
Yeah.
Because they're only halfway done with Colossus. The guy doing Storm is like taking his time. He's really enjoying the work. And the Wolverine guy is like, done. I'm already finished. Why are you guys going so slowly? What's going on here? I finished the job.
Very professional.
The hairy guy's done, although you can't tell that he's not dressed. He actually is not dressed.
Right.
But the hairy guy's done. I was like,
the guy that has Storm, like, where does this cape start and end? I don't know.
That's he's like so lost in it.
And I in the bottom corner there, I blew up the guy who is working on Wolverine just so you could see his face. Looking at Wolverine's clothing, because I think his reaction's pretty amazing too. He's just like, I don't know what I'm looking at here.
He's like, maybe we could keep this stuff on because this guy's really hairy.
He's questioning. That guy's questioning all the life choices he's made that led him to the moment that he's stripping a hairy midget inside of a private jet on the way to the Hellfire Club.
It's like, I should have stayed in college. Damn it!
all the life choices that one guy made, are coming to pass. Right?
Exactly.
I wish I missed the bus on the way to work today.
So many things, right? It's like sliding doors. However, yes, to Chet's point, they did know all about the X-Men and knew that Storm keeps lock-picking tools in her headdress and her costume and everywhere else. So she's fully aware that she has tools that would enable her to escape later on. So they had to check her out completely. Yep. And Kitty Pryde has figured out enough of her abilities to get into this jet car thing and be hiding out somewhere in an inauspicious corner.
Yeah, I like that drawing there for her, like her body halfway through the wall. Like that's always famous look for Kitty, to be doing that kind of thing. So it's cool to see these earlier panels and earlier drawings of her doing that.
Totally.
Yeah, that totally reminds me of that cover, that white cover with Kitty coming out with the dragon with her. That was really cool.
Lockheed,
yeah, that was a really cool cover.
Great cover. Totally looks like milk. She's climbing out of the milk.
It does, yeah. Damn, I still need that cover, man. Damn it.
It's a great one. So I guess that's kind of the end. The next issue setting up what will be the other mutant that the other team is going to investigate. So the debut of Dazzler. What any last thoughts here, Justin, on this issue?
I mean, it's a special issue in terms of kicking off what is known as the Dark Phoenix saga. I think it does give you enough of a taste, obviously there are setup points in here for sure, but it needs to be because this is the beginning of the Dark Phoenix saga. So, getting that taste of Jason Wingard in the beginning, getting some hints there, and obviously just a lot of great character development along the way, especially with, Kitty and Emma a little bit here. Getting to understand their powers and just where they stand amongst everybody else. I think it's all important, and it's obviously just a great issue. So, and you get your action, everything else is there. So, and in the end, the team does prevail to a degree. I mean, obviously now they're down on half naked, beat up, so it didn't end too well for them, but they almost had it. The pink and purple robots were nothing once they figured out that they just had to change partners. So,
and if an X-Men issue doesn't end with them half naked at the Hellfire Club, I mean, what we've done something.
What are we doing? Yeah, right.
Exactly. What about you, Alan? Any last thoughts here?
Yeah, I think I really liked, other than just the clothing, but how Emma was, like, even the slide before this. Basically, she just destroyed the robots that failed to execute the plan, right? So you could tell how kind of strong-willed she is, along with Jason Wingard, and all of the Hellfire Club. You could see that they're serious business. They have tabs into Professor X's whole thing, whole setup at the mansion. They have everything in place. So for me, man, this is such a good setup. Just thinking about it for the whole Dark Phoenix saga, This is really good. I really like how they invited Kitty over and how they have everything set up. They show a little bit more about Storm, and I think it just really sets up what's going to happen in the next whole story arc. I really like this issue. Yeah.
Yep. I totally agree, and I think there's a lot of great juice going on here that I think really is setting up a ton of good story, and I think, as much as I take shots at Claremont and Byrne with the scantily clad women, they also have incredibly powerful female characters, and that's the best part about this run obviously even Kitty here getting set up as a powerful female lead, Dazzler coming up here soon, and Storm and Phoenix. To their credit, they wrote incredibly strong-willed women who stand on their own. And I think that's been the highlight of this issue is Storm and Emma and Kitty. That's what this issue is all about. And next it's going to be Dazzler and Phoenix.
Yep. Well said.
So excited. So excited.
Yeah. Yep.
So here
I saw Lasso in the chat saying, did someone say Dazzler?
Yes. And Lasso is joining us next week on Justin's channel to talk about issue 130 and Dazzler. So be ready for that.
Heck yeah.
So this is obviously a big issue right now. Very, very popular issue. First appearance of Kitty Pryde. And first appearance of Emma Frost, first cameo appearance of the Hellfire Club as a whole, and some of the shadowy figures in the background. So those are all big elements that make this book kind of something that's really sought after right now.
Yeah.
Other facts I threw in here. This is the first part of the Dark Phoenix saga we mentioned, and they reference several other issues previous to this, 110, 125, and 128 specifically, that have been building blocks to this storyline.
Yep.
And then I mentioned at the beginning that it was issue 60 that has a Danger Room homage to this issue, or I should say vice versa. This is an homage to issue 60 where Beast storms out of the Danger Room and slams the door open in their faces.
That's a good reference.
So it's a fun little, if you ever read issue 60 or you digitally or whatever, there's a little throwback to that as well.
I would love to go back to that and check it out.
I'll definitely check that out.
So if you're ready to take your medication, a 9/8 of this book goes for $3,100.
Whoa. Damn.
And there are no 9/9s. There are no 10.0s. So this is the peak, the pinnacle of X-Men 129 goodness.
Wow.
A 9/6 goes for $625. A 9.4, $350, and then it goes down pretty steadily. An 8.5 could be had for $200. Now, I will say the one drawback of Go Collect is it is an average of long term.
Right.
So short-term spikes don't necessarily appear as readily. So it's possible an 8.5 and a 200. I mean, I would pay $200 for an 8.5 right now. I don't think you're going to find that.
Right. I was gonna say you definitely won't find it for that price nowadays.
But that is the most recent Go Collect information. There are 340 9/8s. There are over 800 9/6s and over 800 9/4s.
Whoa.
And over 500 9/2s. So there are a ton of slabbed high-grade copies of this book from 9.0 and above. You're talking about almost 4,000 comics. Now, I will also say they don't necessarily keep track of books that get cracked, pressed, and resubmitted. They would be on the census twice in that instance. But yeah, a ton of these out here. And JP is crying. Apologies, JP. Apologies.
Oof.
Yeah, that's wow. So my 8.5 is much more rare than the 9.4 or the 9.6. So there you go.
It's a definite silver lining moment for Justin.
I'm excited.
Happy birthday, man.
Yes.
Gore Vidal is here. Yeah,
hey,
right.
Gore, what's going on?
Gore says it was the early 80s, John. Stockings, corsets, lace, being half naked, they all come with comics, and specifically women in comics, not so much the guys. Dazzler and Phoenix, take your money. There you go. And then we get Madeline. We will deal with Madeline, of course. Except for Jean going, okay, Scott, cheat on me. It's okay. I love you. Yeah. Other than that, it's a really good issue. The long-term prices are better than the short-term of this book right now, for sure.
Yeah, I just went on eBay real quick just to see, like, pulling up a 8.5 CGC grade for this is, I mean, it's not that it's purchased, but it's up for grabs right now for $525 a newsstand.
Yikes.
Not that it's sold for that, but yeah, it's people are asking for that.
It is a beast of a book right now.
Oh, here you go. I just clicked sold. June 3rd, last was sold. It's $624 is what it went for as a buy it now.
Wow.
For an 8.5?
For an 8.5 not signed.
Wow. Yikes. And that's the challenge of Go Collect is I feel like because they look at long term, it's harder to see the dramatic short-term spikes.
There's also a delay just in general. So I don't think it captured like the most. I think there's like a month or maybe a couple of weeks delay. So maybe that June 3rd purchase might not have shown up yet either. It's possible.
Gotcha.
That's true.
That's fair.
But it's wild.
Yeah. So there it is. That's the book. Very shocking, very exciting. X-Men issue 129. And happy birthday from Storm.
Happy birthday.
Storm sends you a happy birthday. We haven't shown these images in a good while, but I thought it was a good time to say happy birthday to you, sir.
Very true. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Sheena and Victoria, Read Across the Stars. They actually, for my birthday, it's not here yet, it's on its way, but they actually purchased or bought me a statue of Storm that they showed me a screenshot of. So for my birthday, so shout out to them for the birthday gift. Really excited to. I'll have when we have whenever I get it and we have another show, I'll have to bring that on and show it off. So
nice.
Awesome. Shout out to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was complaining about earlier, JP. I don't know.
Cyclops?
Yeah, something about Cyclops, though certainly not about misogyny and women being objects. Nothing about that.
Nothing about that.
So yeah, that was issue 129. We now need to get into the trivia questions, and we got 6 trivia questions for you tonight. They're going to be about last week's issue 128. Those of you watching tonight should show up next week on Justin's channel. The links are down below for both Alan and Justin. Subscribe, check them out, but then be there next week on Justin's channel because all that you learned from this incredible experience of hanging out with us will be valuable information for trivia next week.
Heck yeah. You could have this. You could have a mystery box from John. You could even get a slab from Chet at one point. So we have a lot of giveaways coming up. The 22nd is going to be huge, man.
It's going to be a big party day issue. I'm on summer vacation, so John can stay up later than normal. It'll be buck wild guests. I'm sure it'll just be a lot of shenanigans.
For sure.
So we got 6 questions. Battle Panda with the super chat. Thank you so much. Yes, multimedia man, and I mentioned him earlier and his channel, young kid with a great starting up his YouTube channel, and wanted to give him some love and support. Thank you so much for the reminder. Yes. And I will go and drop the chat link in a second here for that when Justin's sharing one of his trivia questions. So thanks for the reminder on that.
Very cool battle.
So we got 6 trivia questions, 2 from each of us. The first 2 people to answer both get credit. The first person gets a raffle ticket for the overall prizes, the slab and the omnibus. The second correct answer gets points as well, though, on the overall standing. So both people will get points overall, 2 for first place, 1 for second place. And then comedy answers get points as well. So you can get a point for being funny and be on the overall as well. And on the 22nd, we will pull the winner for the slab. We will pull the winner for the omnibus. And then whoever's left in that top position on the overall wins the giveaway from me, which will be catered probably to specifically what Magic Lasso wants more than likely.
Exactly.
Because it's more than likely Magic Lasso at this point. But we'll see. I'm going to go first with my question. Last week we were dealing with battles with the character of Proteus. It was the finale to the Proteus drama, and my question is, who defeated Proteus in the end? This whole team battle, this huge in the end, who was the character who defeated Proteus?
Yeah. While it was a team effort, there was one who really quite literally ended it.
And Chet is back. Sorry, no, not you, Jackson. Okay, Chet is back on point, and he's getting the raffle ticket and the 2 points. But Jackson Roy Kirk, you were second.
Nice.
You get 1 point, and we're just looking for comedy answers now. It was Professor X.
Professor X.
Not likely. I'm going to load that link again for, let's see, so we still have it fresh here. You have it fresh. Look at me. Amazing. So while we're waiting for other funny answers, Justin, if you want to ask your next or your first question, we can do that.
Yeah, sure. So let's see. So my first question I'm going to ask here is at one point Proteus got shot in the shoulder. So my question is, who shot Proteus? Who shot the sheriff? Who shot Proteus in the shoulder? It was very close. Oh, go ahead.
The Green Ranger. That's funny.
Okay.
And yeah, Diana Ross always. That's a throwback comedy joke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Double X with Ross from Friends.
Oh, that's.
I love it. Well,
yes.
hey, you did have Ross in as a gift earlier today.
So comedy points to you. But now, yes, who fired the bullet? And it was
Banshee. Boom. He didn't have his voice, but he was able to pull the trigger. Unfortunately, he didn't end it, but he did get a shot into the shoulder. So yeah, shout out to Chet. And then I see Old Wolf after that.
And then I got Old Wolf with the bonus point there. Coming in strong.
Get on the board.
I love how Chet is literally the first two. Like, because he's been our guest. Like, he hasn't been able to answer questions. And
I know he's like
scouring. Yeah, he's ready to go on the keyboard. Yeah, I like how we see some Moira answers because you would think it was Moira.
Right? Moira is the logic. I mean, who's going to be locked and loaded at any X-Men thing?
Or Misty Knight. You could also get Misty Knight in there.
Oh yeah, Misty Knight might be.
Fair.
With the Saturday night special.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Lasso with the comedy point for Moira, just because that's good. Oh, Robin Hood, very funny.
The Green Knoll,
the library suppository. On the grassy knoll.
Yeah.
That is funny. On the grassy knoll. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Magic Lasso with the comedy point of Moira because that is very entertaining.
Yep.
That is good. That is good.
Alan, do you want to ask your first question?
Yes. Okay. So let's see who knows this. What did Proteus turn Storm's wind into? Because he could change stuff into different things.
Alter reality.
What did her wind turn into?
Yeah, she had this gust of wind trying to take him out, and it just was there, and then it was gone because other things happened.
Right.
What was that transformation there?
Oh, I see the correct answer twice already with Jackson.
Oh wow, that was fast.
Kirk.
Yep.
Some of these guys got that fast internet, and I will say, Old Wolf coming in strong again with a bonus point. And I don't know that anybody's going to beat that.
Yeah, that's rude.
Oof.
I'm going X11 on that one.
Yeah. I don't want a gust of that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, no, we definitely don't want a gust of that. If I was Proteus, maybe that's what I would have switched to.
Fart was incorrect, Bravo, but we will still accept it for comedic purposes.
Yeah.
Wolverine scented. That's what that one Hellfire Guard was dealing with.
Yeah.
Right. My last question is there were some exciting battle moments with Proteus, and one of the most exciting, in my opinion, was poor Wolverine falling off the side of a cliff and needing to be rescued by Cyclops. How did Cyclops rescue Wolverine? What did Cyclops do to rescue Wolverine? One of my favorite moments in issue 128.
This is a fun moment.
Yeah, when you first asked that, I was like, "Wait, how did it go down?" But now it was pretty great.
It was a classic, absolutely. Let's see here. I might need a little more info.
Yeah.
I don't think people are being specific enough.
Yeah.
You know what? I might give it to Jackson Roy Kirk on that one.
That one was a good answer. Yeah.
I think that might he pulled out a Penthouse magazine. So good.
Oh gosh.
I mean, that's pretty darn close.
Yeah,
it is.
So I think I'll give it to that, but this is the answer I wanted.
Yeah, that's
the answer I wanted. So I'm going Roy Kirk with the 2 points and the raffle ticket, and then I'm going Lasso with the single point because that's really what I was looking for. He blasted him in the butt.
Yep.
Caught him by the short and curlies is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that's good too. A lot of great ones.
Drill a hole in the earth. Also solid. And blasted him and was like, "What? I was saving you."
Yeah. Yeah, you can just see Wolverine like, what the heck, dude?
Just for the delivery on that, JP, you're getting the comedy point on that.
Nice.
What?
Yeah.
All right, Justin, what's your last question?
All right. Other question is, what was the did we confirm it is Image, by the way? Yeah, I guess it is. Right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what was the Image title, the comic that I referred to, the reference that I made when I was talking about Phoenix last episode? There was a specific panel that something happened to Phoenix. She was attacked. Her mind was attacked. And there was a specific panel that I referred to and said, this is a character from another Image title. What was that title, or who was that character that I was referring to? Because either way, that would be the answer. So
I loved that comment and that reference because I thought of the exact same thing when I saw that panel.
Good. Yeah. And we'll, give a few seconds here. If people are not sure, then maybe there's a hint that I could.
Yeah, it's a current Image comic book character, and the title of the comic is the character's name.
Yeah.
And Justin referenced it as like, hey, is this the true first appearance of?
Yeah, of this particular character. It definitely looked like it.
It's a company. Yeah, it's a company. You could blame Rob Liefeld for it.
So maybe I give the hint, John. Should I give?
Is a currently going one, and it has to do with. I can show the panel if you want.
Oh yeah. Let's pull the panel.
Let's see if I've got. I found Moira shooting a gun. It's hard to know what page I'm on. That's pretty much every page.
Moira's got a gun.
Right. And here it is. Ready for it? It's that pink skeleton panel right there.
Yep.
He said, it's the true first appearance of this current Image comic.
Yep.
Maybe you're reading it. Maybe you've seen those covers. But I loved the reference. Ooh, look, Old Wolf.
There we go.
JP.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Now, Old Wolf, this might be your very first raffle ticket. You now have a raffle in the overall, my man.
Nice.
That is the correct answer. Raffle ticket and 2 points for you. JP gets the bonus point on the overall. But yes, that's nice. True first of Carmen.
Yep.
And Laura Croft. Spawn goes to San Francisco. Scary, bony guy. Yeah. It's a risque skeleton. I mean, let's just be honest. It's a good-looking skeleton. Yeah, let's go with Bravo with Naked Ghost Rider.
That's fair.
Bravo goes with Naked Ghost Rider. I am all in.
Yep.
All right, Alan, what's our last question of the night?
All right, our last question for these points is, so Banshee was falling into the earth. Who saved him?
Yeah, that was where Proteus kind of turned the ground into this pitfall out of nowhere. And Banshee couldn't fly because he doesn't have his abilities.
Yeah.
So he needed some help, and there was someone there to help him out.
Oh, and we got it. Jackson Roy Kirk.
Very nice.
Trying to finish the season strong with 2 points and a raffle ticket, but Chet is not giving up. Chet with the bonus point.
Nice.
Yep, very good.
I'm going to be waiting for some comedy here, but I will say, Alan, it was an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And if you guys are X fans, comic book fans, you're missing out if you're not subscribed to Alan's channel. He did a great show that Charlie and I watched this weekend on Jubilee and on her first appearance and looking that issue over. I thought it was a lot of fun. Threw me back to my 90s heyday. So check the link down below and subscribe to Alan. Do you have anything coming up people should be aware of?
So I'll be just dropping videos on a weekly basis. I have a couple of AOKs that have come in that are pretty big. So nice. I'll definitely be dropping some of those. But I want to spend this time to actually say thank you to you guys for having me on the show. I definitely would love to come back at some point. But Special note to Justin, happy birthday, bud. I am super glad that I was able to join today.
So much,
and
man.
the start of the Dark Phoenix saga. Oh man, cannot complain. This is crazy. So thank you much to both of you guys, and hopefully talk to you all in the chat on upcoming episodes. So
absolutely. Absolutely, Alan, you've been the best, man. I love the content you put out there. I should also add, I love the educational stuff that you put out there. I've learned a lot from you, and just how you go through some of the books that you talk about for grading purposes. And I think you do it in such a great way where you're learning, and you're also helping us learn along with it on trying to judge books, on how to grade and things like that. So as John said, if you guys are not following Alan already, make sure you do so with the link in the description below, because Alan's always putting out some great content. So we appreciate you, man.
For sure.
Thank you, fellas. I
think I'm gonna go with JP's. Scott blasted him in the butt, and it worked again.
And it worked. Yeah, there you go.
It might just be where I'm at mentally right now, but I'm accepting that answer.
I love it.
Yes.
There you go.
I second that.
And if you don't know the birthday boy, I don't know what you're missing out on, because we do this show every single week. We've been going through Omnibus Volume 1. We got 2 shows left, and we're on his channel next week. He's also dropping content like crazy. All kinds of videos coming out. So, Justin, what should people look for over on your channel?
Just follow me over on Instagram, and I post all that stuff on my stories and stuff. We did the Tag Team Thursday fun. We got the Saturday Comic Collector Origins fun, and so on and so forth. So, I think I recognize most of you here, but I appreciate everybody. If you're not following me, would love to get to know you more, DM me. But yeah, man, all about the community here. You guys know that. And like you said, John, next week, we'll be with Magic Lasso.
Dazzler.
Swing by the channel. Set your reminders.
Dazzler. Lasso says, I suck tonight on trivia. I'll be booed next week on the show. That's not how the show works. Show works.
No, we love you, Lasso.
We'll boo you for other reasons.
Yes.
Not for that. Not for trivia. Never for trivia.
You better have some good dad jokes, Lasso.
I'm saying. Be ready. You're going to have to do it live next time.
Yes. Do it live. We're doing it live.
Do it live.
Tomorrow night is Wednesday. I'm on the Comic Core, and we'll be doing a special on a very inappropriate comic for those of you, but we're talking about Murder Hobo, because we were all A-OK a set of these from Daymares. So the whole panel is going to be talking about Murder Hobo tomorrow night on the Comic Core show.
Nice.
Thursday, I got 2 shows. I'm going to be doing my live premiere for my new comic community news video. Did Batman spec comic books, including this one last time. This week, we're looking at Thor, Love and Thunder, and Loki, the TV series, and we'll be giving some comments on what books are hot or maybe shouldn't be hot or related to Thor and Loki. And then after that evening, I'm talking about Ascender.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that.
On that guy's channel.
Yeah, I'll be there.
We're talking about the newest trade paperbacks, volumes 2 and 3, that are available for Ascender, basically catching all the way up on this amazing Jeff Lemire run.
Yes.
So we will definitely be talking some good Image indie comics over there on JP's channel on Thursday night.
I got one more issue to go, John. I was like savoring it and just taking my time,
Nice.
So good.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be hard. It's going to be hard to say goodbye when that one's all wrapped up for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully it continues.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it. We're going to get out of here. We've gone way longer than usual, but we're doing this as a birthday special and savoring these last few issues before we take a little hiatus while we gear up for volume 2.
Yep. Hey, John, I just want to say thank you too, man, just for the birthday wishes. Alan, you as well, everybody in the chat. For today was just awesome in general. So appreciate everybody and the love that I got from the community. It's been absolutely awesome. I'll probably post something a little later, but John, just an extra thank you to you for putting together the slides as you always do on your channel, and just having these extra bits. I was cracking up. I love the effort that you put into this each and every week. So I appreciate you, man.
Happy to do it, man. It was a lot of fun putting it together. I was like, I'm not going to do anything on Instagram. I'm just going to save it, do it live, and just see his face when we go through this.
Yeah, man.
All right, everybody. Well, you have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy New Comic Book Day tomorrow, everyone. And we'll see you back on Justin's channel next week for Dazzler.
Yeah. See you guys soon.